In a landscape saturated with endless crossover options, one machine stands as the unspoken monarch of American roads, offering a mathematical perfection of utility and reliability that competitors simply cannot replicate. The fifth-generation Toyota RAV4 does not rely on flashy gimmicks or ephemeral design trends to secure its position as the best-selling non-pickup vehicle in the United States. Instead, it relies on a foundational adherence to engineering capability and a relentless optimization of the daily driving experience. To understand why this vehicle dominates the market, we must look past the marketing brochures and dissect the mechanical reality of the XA50 chassis code. This is a vehicle that has been calculated, rather than merely designed, to serve the widest possible variance of human needs with the lowest possible statistical probability of failure. The success of the fifth-generation RAV4 begins at the molecular level of its construction with the Toyota New Global Architecture K platform. Unlike previous iterations that felt akin to elevated economy cars, the TNGA-K platform introduces a level of torsional rigidity that fundamentally alters the dynamic character of the vehicle. Through the extensive use of high-tensile steel and advanced laser screw welding techniques, the chassis resists flexing under cornering loads and suspension impacts. This rigidity is not about sporting performance in the traditional sense, but about isolation and fatigue reduction. A stiffer chassis allows the suspension geometry consisting of McPherson struts up front and a trailing wishbone multi-link setup at the rear to perform its damping duties with absolute precision, unencumbered by the parasitic motion of a flexing body structure. The result is a ride quality that absorbs high-frequency road imperfections while maintaining composure over low-frequency undulations, creating a sensory experience of solidity that is typically reserved for luxury segments. The propulsion system mounted within this rigid architecture is the ADA-5AFKS 2.5-liter dynamic force four-cylinder engine. In an era where manufacturers are rapidly downsizing to 1.5-liter turbocharged units to cheat emissions tests, Toyota's decision to retain a large displacement naturally aspirated engine is a triumph of thermodynamic engineering over regulatory circumvention. This engine is a masterpiece of efficiency, boasting a thermal efficiency rating of 40%, a figure that approaches the theoretical limit for internal combustion engines in a production vehicle. This is achieved through a high compression ratio of 13:1 and a very long stroke to-bore ratio, which promotes high turbulence within the combustion chamber. The D4S injection system utilizes both low-pressure port injection and high-pressure direct injection. This dual-nature approach solves the carbon buildup issues inherent to direct injection-only engines while maximizing power delivery. At light loads, the port injectors clean the intake valves. At high loads, the direct injectors cool the cylinder charge to prevent knock. This engine does not require the complex plumbing, intercoolers, and stress-inducing boost pressures of a turbocharger to generate its 203 horsepower. It produces power linearly and reliably with a service life projection that far exceeds its boosted competitors. Crucially, this power is transmitted to the wheels not through a rubber band-like continuously variable transmission found in the Honda CR-V or Subaru Forester, but through a direct shift 8-speed automatic transmission. This gearbox utilizes a torque converter with a wide lockup range, providing the direct mechanical connection and positive shift points that drivers subconsciously crave. The low first gear ensures immediate off-the-line acceleration, while the tall 8th gear allows for silent, low RPM highway cruising. This transmission choice is significant because it eliminates the drone and the slipping clutch sensation of a CVT, imparting a feeling of mechanical permanence and durability that reinforces the driver's confidence in the machine stepping inside the cabin. The engineering philosophy shifts from thermodynamic efficiency to ergonomic pragmatism. The interior of the fifth-generation RAV4 is a rejection of the capacitive touch madness that has infected the modern automotive industry. Toyota engineers recognized that a daily driver acts as a mobile command center where cognitive load must be minimized. Consequently, the interface is defined by massive, rubberized knobs for the volume and climate controls. These are not delicate dials. They are substantial, high-friction control surfaces designed to be operated with gloves on or without looking down from the road. The tactile feedback is deliberate and heavy, conveying a sense of quality and robustness. The layout is strictly logical, with primary functions segregated into clear horizontal zones. The infotainment screen stands proud of the dashboard, falling directly into the driver's eye line to minimize the time eyes are off the road. While critics may decry the graphics as utilitarian, the system prioritizes latency-free operation and reliability over cinematic transitions. The seating position is equally calculated. The hip point, or H-point, is positioned at the precise geometric median that allows an average adult to slide laterally into the seat without climbing up or dropping down. This sounds trivial, but over thousands of entry and exit cycles, this ergonomic neutrality reduces physical strain. The seats themselves utilize multi-density foam that prioritizes long-distance support over showroom softness, acknowledging that the RAV4 is often used for interstate travel. The visibility is optimized through door-mounted side mirrors, which open up a line of sight through the pillar gap, and a low belt line that provides an airy greenhouse, reducing the claustrophobia often induced by modern, high-sided crossover designs. The utility of the RAV4 is where the engineering meets the tangible requirements of American life. The cargo area offers 37.5 cubic feet of space with the rear seats up, expanding to nearly 70 cubic feet with them folded. However, raw volume metrics are meaningless without geometric accessibility. The load floor is essentially flat, and the liftover height is minimized to reduce the lumbar strain of loading heavy objects. The rear cargo opening is squared off, avoiding the stylized, sloping roof lines that cut into usable vertical space in competitors like the Mazda CX-5. This boxy aesthetic is a functional choice, maximizing the ability to carry square cargo like dog crates or furniture. In terms of fuel economy, the scientific reality often outperforms the EPA estimates. Due to the high thermal efficiency of the dynamic force engine and the aerodynamic drag coefficient of 0.32, the RAV4 excels at steady-state highway cruising. The transmission's overdrive gears allow the engine to idle along at low RPMs at 75 miles per hour, frequently delivering real-world returns exceeding 35 miles per gallon on the highway for the front-wheel drive models. This efficiency is achieved without complex 48-volt mild hybrid systems or cylinder deactivation technology that introduces potential failure points. It is efficiency achieved through fundamental friction reduction and combustion optimization. We must conclude with a scientific analysis of the Toyota tax, a phenomenon where used RAV4's command is significant price premium over their competitors. This is not accidental. It is an actuarial certainty. The market has correctly identified that the depreciation curve of a RAV4 is significantly flatter than that of a Nissan Rogue or a Jeep Cherokee. This value retention is based on the proven longevity of the mechanical components we have analyzed. The naturally aspirated engine lacks the turbocharger fatigue cycles. The torque converter automatic lacks the CVT belt degradation issues. The suspension lacks the complex air springs or adaptive dampers that fail after warranty. When a consumer purchases a RAV4, they are purchasing a statistical probability of 200,000 miles of trouble-free operation. The higher upfront cost or the higher used price is mathematically justified by the lower cost of ownership per mile over the vehicle's lifespan. The fifth-generation RAV4 is the king of the U.S. market not because it evokes passion, but because it eliminates pain. It is a tool of transportation refined to its absolute peak, offering a frictionless ownership experience that allows the driver to focus on their life rather than the maintenance of their machine. It is the ultimate daily driver because it is the ultimate expression of automotive competence.